Hi everyone, welcome back to XYZ Architect. Calypso 2022 is at Service Pack 2, so I think it's time for me to switch to it. And each time I switch to a new version, I like to see what are the main differences between the old version and the new one. And what are the main add-ons to the new version, of course. So I thought, hey, why don't I do a video about this for my subscribers on YouTube? Now, I know that Calypso 2022 version is available since last year, but I like to wait some time before I switch to the new version, because this way possible bugs can be fixed and the integration with the measurement plans that have already been created in older version will work. I do admit that I wasn't thinking like this in the past. I wanted every new version from the beginning. But at the company that I am working now, I learned to be patient and wait. And I am thankful for this. Now, don't get me wrong, I still try the new version from the beginning, but I do this on an offline station away from a CMM. So, let's review Calypso 2022. Main changes when you look at Calypso 2022 compared to Calypso 2021 is the aspect of the icons. We can see right here that the icons have no color whatsoever. Now, why did Zeiss do this? I don't know. Maybe to improve the process capabilities when it comes to importing CAD models and working with larger models, or I don't know. Since this is my assumption, let's do a test. I will import a large CAD file in Calypso 2022 and set a timer to see the loading time, and then I will do the same for Calypso 2021. So I downloaded a V6 motor engine from grabcad.com and I imported it in Calypso 2021 and in Calypso 2022. And the differences are there as we can see. The performance boost is possible according to Zeiss due to the changes of the geo-actuals to the binary format by default. In older Calypso versions, the measurement values were saved in ASCII format, and in case of large point sets, saving them took very long. So if this is the case for you and you did not pass to Calypso 2022 yet, just go to Extras, Settings, Miscellaneous, and right here under System, set the file format from Save Actual Points as text file to Save Actual Points as binary file. And now that the load time is over for each Calypso version, in Calypso 2021 we have 5 minutes of load time for the model, for the V6 engine model, while in Calypso 2022 we only have 2 minutes the load time. So we gain 3 minutes. Now, this is what I call an update. When it comes to changes from the menu, we don't have any changes at File tab and Edit tab. But we do have the first change at View tab, where now we are missing the custom report, the graphics, the Calypso graphics feature, and all CAD view landscape and portrait. Zeiss informed us years ago that since we have PyWeb reporting now, the custom report will become obsolete in time. So looks like this came with 2022 version, and I personally am not surprised that this happened. Next we have a small change at the resources. The RT function tab is now called rotary table, where we can find functions like the rotary table, of course. that have a different description now, but are the same functions like in 2021. So I don't know if we should consider it a change or not, but it's here and it's practically the same. So yeah, it's not really a change, just a change in the description. Let me just open a new measurement plan. It's better this way. The next change we have at the measurement plan, where we now have two new functions in 2022. Definition of multiple report, where we can open the multiple report settings window, not just from measurement multiple report where it opens the same window. Now we can do it also from resources measurement plan definition of multiple report, and the sign function where we can sign the measurement plan and protect it. Moving down to design custom report, where I find another difference in Calypso 2022, and this is that we now have here only the report header compact report. And since the custom report is not available anymore, I don't know why this is here anymore. I'm guessing it's still here to offer the possibility to change something in the old compact reports for the old clients that still wants to use this. I don't know why you want to use this anymore, but yeah, okay. This is it. This is here, and you can make some changes in the old reports as well. Next change under resources I found at utilities, where we now are missing the graphics element function. This one was somehow related also to the custom report, and we have now the possibility to do what graphics element did in the past in PyWeb. So no loss here from my point of view. And the rest of the functions remains the same for resources. Moving to features tab under special geometries, I want to notice you that we are now missing the general surface and the general curve functions. Now, these are functions that I personally did not use, but if you are using these functions or you use them in the past, know that in this version of Calypso, they are missing. I did not find them anywhere else, but maybe they are somewhere here, but I don't think so. Now for construction size, form and location, we don't have any changes. Under plan, we do have some changes. As we can see, we have additional functions like subsequent evaluation automatic mode on the evaluation computer and on the CMM computer. These new functions are added, but we are going to talk about them later in this review because they are part of something big and I don't want to go fast through them. We will move to the CAD tab. Under CAD file, where we had in Calypso 2021 reading point files, now in Calypso 2022 we have load reference data record, which are basically the same thing. I went through each and every one of the other functions and didn't find anything else under CAD file as well. No additional functions and no changes were done to extras or planner or window. The only change we have at the question mark, where we now have size on the internet instead of IMT on the internet. This is what we had in 2021. The design of the icons have changed, as we mentioned earlier, but they are still there. In fact, we now have here under this tab a new icon, the multiple report icon. This one opens the multiple report if you have some results, depending on what we choose in the multiple report settings. So in the multiple report settings, we can choose the standard protocol or whatever protocol we want to choose. We can add some more protocols. So for example, interactive standard protocol, and it will generate all the reports from here. So we have a button for this here now. And now that the obvious stuff is out of the way, we can go and check what other changes Zeiss have announced, starting with CAD and PMI improvements. For those who do not know, PMI stands for Product Manufacturing Information and is basically the 3D model of a product with all the information from the 2D drawing, just like we can see on the screen right now. Now, Calypso can include PMI information from 2015 version now, but it had some flaws in the past that were corrected with every new version. We can now have PMI data from CATIA V5, Siemens NX, SolidWorks, and Creo Parametric, and also a STEP AP242 format with PMI. In this version of Calypso at PMI, we have some new functions like theoretical and informational characteristics from the drawing are not created anymore. In the last versions, if we had such data, PMI would generate a characteristic for it, which is not correct. We know that this data is not measurable or is there only for information. So it's a good thing. We have less things to delete when everything is extracted. Another new feature that is now available in Calypso 2022 is that if the envelope symbol is defined in the PMI, now Calypso understands and sets the 2-point diameter characteristic with the envelope condition from the start. This was not possible in the past, and we had to do it manually, just like I was doing it right now. We can also define the color of the PMI now, and we can change it from the CAD tab. We can change it to wherever color do we want, whatever color you are comfortable with. Another cool feature now with PMI is the possibility to create characteristics with a group specified by PMI. So if I go right now and select the front group right here, and I will choose create characteristic group, all PMI from the view, Calypso will create a group with all the characteristics from the PMI, right? So we have the PMI right here with the characteristics, with these characteristics, same characteristics we will find in here. So this is a cool new feature, but unfortunately there is nothing linked with the features. As you can see, the features are left like this, and it would be nice to have the same group at the features tab or something to relate to it. That way it makes it easy to identify the features that relate to the group from the characteristic. And for those that work with PMI, they know what I am talking about. It takes a long time for us to identify the features that belong to a characteristic and see if they are done automatically or if they need some adjustments. Maybe something like this will be done in the future by Zeiss. We can only hope so. For more PMI improvements, you can visit portal.zeiss.metrology.com. And after you will create an account, you can search for the Calypso 2022 videos from here, and you can have a lot of more free information from Zeiss on their products. It was my source of inspiration for this video also, but not only this one, I also inspected the release notes for every Calypso version that I work with. Moving on, but remaining on the graphics topic, we have some modifications at the CAD presentation functions, where now we can see the symbol of the characteristic inside the banners, just like we can see now on the screen. We have more permissions on the font and the viewing of the notes, like the deviation or the tolerance or nominal, if we want to see it or not. I think this is also a good change because the banners take less space. And we might not have problems like in the past when if you had more banners in the view, it all looked messy. So we can now have a clear CAD presentation. Another great improvement is the possibility to section the CAD model from another alignment. Oh man, this one I was looking forward to see. Lots of times I wanted to show sections from the CAD model from different angles, but in older Calypso versions, this was possible only if you knew the normal of the surface that you want to slice, so it was a little bit tricky, but now it's simple. And with the CAD presentation that allows a capture with the CAD slice from version 2021, this became a great feature. We have also a change at the startup menu. Now, if we want to open a measurement plan, another window appears where we have the latest open measurement plans. We can now set favorites, rate the measurement plans, and so on. We have this on PCDMIS for a while now, and now Zeiss decided to join in on this. It's a nice to have feature, but not really a necessary one from my point of view. And if you are a person like me that likes to work with the keyboard when scrolling in the data, then this new improvement is for you. We can now shift between features when the windows are open from the keyboard. You just have to click one time the button down or up and change what we want to change, or inspecting the nominals or actuals with ease. And how many times have you inserted a special symbol from the keyboard by mistake? I did this hundreds of times. Then after hitting enter, Calypso informed you that special characters are not allowed and set the name back to what it was. Well, my friends, that era is gone with Calypso 2022, because now if you make a mistake, it still tells you that special characters are not permitted, but it doesn't delete the whole text that you have written. It deletes only the text from where the special character begins. If you watch my other videos, you know that I like to have stability on my measurement programs. And in order to have it, I like using the loop syntax. But sometimes when I need it, I have to go and search it in order to make my life easier and just copy it and paste it in the syntax box. And this takes a little time to do. But now there is no need to do this. Calypso allows just to insert the number of loops and the desired delta value, and there you have it. No long formulas, no searching, we have it all here. Thank you, Zeiss. Good job. Another change that is worth mentioning is the manual probing recognition feature function. So if you are taking points manually on the part, you know that Calypso will recognize the elements just by best fitting the points in the element that you touch. But sometimes, because of the deviation of the part or because we touch the part wrong, it recognizes the feature with something that we do not want. But if we go at feature recognition in the left side, we can choose what element we want to have. And this was here since Calypso first started. But now we have far more features than before. We now have ellipse, slot, rectangle, even a surface measurement. So it's easier to specify what feature you want Calypso to recognize. Something that Zeiss thought to improve with this new version is the increase of the productivity from the CMM. And to do this, they introduced this new function called automatic subsequent evaluation. Now, we all know that if you want to recall some old results, we can use the subsequent evaluation feature. But Zeiss took it even further. They now offer the possibility to have all the results from the CMM transferred to another PC with Calypso on it. It works by activating the option on the CMM computer first by going to Extras, Settings, Miscellaneous, Licenses, Automatic Subsequent Evaluation License. Then make sure you activate it on the evaluation PC as well. And then at the CMM computer, go to Plan, Subsequent Evaluation, Automatic Mode on the CMM computer, and define the network path in order for the evaluation PC to grab the data. Usually you can find it on the path shown on the screen right now. Then on the evaluation PC, go to Plan, Subsequent Evaluation, Automatic Mode on the evaluation computer, and define from where to take the results. This allows us to measure part after part without having to spend the time waiting for the part to be evaluated. And the good news is that you can use one evaluation PC and several CMMs, so you can work efficiently. If you find yourself in the situation where you have to measure a line on a hole inclined, for example, at 45 degrees, and it's hard to reach, then this next feature is for you. In the Strategy tab at the element, you can now choose for the measuring head to move in the direction of the axis that is inclined. This means that if you have to measure something like this, then you have to go in the strategy menu at the feature that you want to measure, and at clearance data, instead of feature standard, you have to select stylus. Careful on the length of the hole. Choose the correct approach and retract distance, because if I will choose, for example, to approach and retract by default values, I will most certainly get a collision. So be careful and use this with caution. If you want to see the arrows from the clearance position, you have to go to CAD, Settings, Strategy, and check the clearance position. And if we are in this window, we can now see that the arrow length is set by default to 2. Before, in older versions, it was set to 5. Some improvements have been done also to the curve function. If you work with this function, you probably noticed that if you want to make a curve with several segments, because you have gaps or the fixing device is blocking your access, whatever the case is, if you filter the line as Gauss, you will get the filtration, but sometimes the peaks of the curve will be higher. And now Zeiss has smoothened this with a function called connection segments. You will find it in the evaluation tab under filtering. Still on the curve function, we can now have the curve feature as a theoretical element. If you want to play with something theoretical before you actually touch the real thing. So it's here and you can use it, do wherever you please with it. And we also have additional settings to the line profile when using a curve. We can now choose to see the graphical representation as before or with a color nominal line. This can be helpful when trying to see the spikes from the line profile if that line profile is tight. We can also do this manually in the past, but now it is simpler. It's right here under the characteristic window where we look at the profile line. In the same window, we have the possibility to choose the projection plane that the line profile will be represented. Way easier to do this from here than the report. Now, for the PCM users, Zeiss made changes here as well. One that caught my eye is that now we have separate database in PyWeb. for each variant of the program, and new PCM commands for curves. I'm not going to insist too much on the PCM because it's a function that I do not use and I don't want to mislead you with false information. So if you want to learn more, again, go to the TSAIS portal website and find out there more information. Okay guys, so we do have to finish somewhere, and what better way to finish this than showing you how to analyze a defect in the new interactive standard report. So what we have new in the standard report is this magnifying lens icon with the plus sign. With this new feature, we can filter immediately all the defects from the part. And by clicking on it, you will open an interactive standard protocol, and from here you can play with the report. Set flags to the defects so you and your colleagues know where on the part the defect is. You can also detail the plots like before. This will help us see the reason, maybe why there are defects there, maybe a burr, maybe some cracks in the part. Click on the plot, open it bigger, play with it, do whatever. Then choose the number of parts you want to analyze, go to the next page and see the statistic for the defect. Maybe it's a new defect, maybe the part was like this from the beginning. See all the information you need right here. This is what I like to see. Tools that help us identify fast what the problem is and act properly. This is it, guys. This was my review for Calypso 2022. I hope you liked it, and if you want to find out more, go to the TSAIS portal and make an account there. You will find the link in the description below, and you will find also good information there. Again, this was not a paid review. TSAIS did not pay me to say anything that you heard in this review. I just like working with Calypso. So guys, until next time, don't forget, learn as much as you can.